Thank you all for coming to check out this video. Now, I'm not even going to delay, I'm just going to get right into it. So one of our latest updates for Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, we got some pretty interesting info, a lot of interesting info on numerous different topics that I will be making theories on, or I will try my best to make theories on depending on what I can come up with, because I want to make sure I get you guys actually quality stuff rather than just plain old coverage or a theory with no meat behind it, you know? But in this update, Brain was having a conversation with Ephemera where he revealed how he discovered something that he has been thinking about for a while now. By looking in the Book of Prophecies, he really found out that Strelitzia, Lauriam's little sister, was supposed to be a Union leader, and he also read the list of names of all the other people who were supposed to be Union leaders, and he also divulged that note to Ephemera, but not just the Book of Prophecies. He kept that to himself. So at this point, they both know who all were meant to be Union leaders and who all weren't. But that's not going to be my focus for this theory. My focus is something that he also mentioned. Although he received the Book of Prophecies from Master Ava, he was not the one who was supposed to receive it in the first place. The Master of Masters created a list of 5 people who Ava was supposed to delegate to be Union leaders for the new world, and he also circled one of the names of those 5 for them to be the one to receive the Book of Prophecies as well. And that may seem like a surprise, but I have an idea of who I think it might be. Although Brain, a good choice, not who the Master of Masters intended. The person who I'm theorizing was supposed to be the one to succeed the Book of Prophecies from the Master of Masters was supposed to be Strelitzia. So not only a Union leader, but the one to receive the Book of Prophecies as well. Quite the role she would have been on, huh? And before I go any further onto my explanation of the sequence of events, I'm going to tell y'all why I think so. Now, I really truly think that Strelitzia is somebody that is way more important than we think in this series. Now remember, we did get backstory on her, and although she was reserved, even in her backstory, it also displayed how she was extremely studious, reliable, and consistent when it came to carrying out her missions as a Keyblade wielder and a Dandelion. I mean, y'all don't forget now, she was good enough to be chosen to be a Union leader by the Master of Masters himself, along with the likes of wielders such as Ephemera, Scold, and Brain, let's not forget, at least as far as we know. Because remember, we still have not seen the list, and people are making them some theories. Nomura is out here playing 5D chess out here. It may not just be who everybody's thinking, who is not intended to be a Union leader. Could be Ventus, could be Brain, could be Lauriam. Although popular theories are swinging mostly in the Ventus direction, I just gotta pinpoint one thing, that until we see that note, or until that note is read to us, we do not know who the Master of Masters all intended, at least for 100% sure. But it's not just that, it's also the fact that we just spent so much time focused on her story, her purpose, playing the whole ace attorney on the whereabouts of her situation. And we've been following along this path for a long time. This is pretty much 99% of what Lauriam has been doing, almost like it's being a side story to the main plot of fighting against the glitches of the data world and attempting to guide the world back on a path that isn't destined for ruin. But now with this new scene in Revelations, her whereabouts are directly being implemented into the main story, as in taking on the other Union leaders' thoughts as well. Although they were down to help him before, they were also focused on trying to fix the bug situation. But now they're taking this head on because it has to do with who's supposed to be Union leader, who's not there, who is there, who's supposed to have a Book of Prophecies, and who isn't. And for Strelitzia to be getting her own story arc like this, she has to be way more important than we are so focused on. Although it is cool to play private investigator, she is holding some information or some talent or some unprecedented skill that we really need in their situation. Kind of went off on a tangent, but back to why I think she was meant to receive the Book of Prophecies. From the scene in Kingdom Hearts 3 where she was speaking as one of the hearts waiting to be saved in the final world, or what we were speculating to be her as a result of her dialogue in the scene, because the dialogue in her scene almost pretty much confirms that it is her. She was intentionally killed by somebody as she puts it. She's waiting for someone close to her to come get her. Sora knows the person that she tells her who she's waiting for. She says that although they have forgotten, once they remember, they'll realize how dire they need her, or how important finding her was to them. In which Marluxia, when he died, makes a clear reference to remembering his purpose in life. But it's not just that I want to take from this scene. As a result of her dialogue in the scene, you could tell by her voice and word choice that she isn't one to say more than needed, and she doesn't really speak very vividly and bombastically. It's more so stoic, strong, elegant, passionate, and straight and to the point without being so extra. And as we know from her backstory in Union Cross, in both her own words as well as Elrena's, she was more shy when it came to actually making real friends and only really interacted with others if it was 1, her Kirith, or 2, if it was just about their missions, period. period. Although she desired so much to interact with Player and meet them, she couldn't as a result of her death. She planned so hard to try to invite them into the Dandelions, but her shyness prevented her from doing so before she died. And I may be reading too far into this, but it sort of sounds like she knows who killed her by the way she corrects Sora on it being a somebody, but that could just also be her not knowing what a nobody is. But when she says somebody, when the text is on the screen, when Sora mentions nobody, it's capital, but when she says she was killed by a somebody, it was lowercase. And I want you guys to be thinking about these kind of things too and make discussion in the comments below. Another reason she could have been chosen is because of her family, considering her brother was Laurium, also someone who became a Union leader, as well as becoming the monster of an adversary in the future world as both Organization 13 member and a member of the true organization, Marluxia in Reshannen Memories and Kingdom Hearts 3. Strength in their family is an idea that could definitely be considered and played around with. Although never having seen her in action so far, I think it's a fair assumption based on this and my previous assertion of her being a very studious in her duties as both a dandelion and a Keyblade wielder in general. Oh, and an additional free fun fact for you guys, Strelitzia is also a type of flower. And like I said, I like parallels, so I just thought that was a pretty cool comparable parallel to Marluxia's power, also using flower petals in his arsenal. But another reason why I think she's so important, and maybe she was the one that was supposed to receive the book, is because him discussing Laurium's sister's whereabout with him is what caused him to look in the Book of Prophecies in the first place and look at the note he got from Ava, just because of this hunch in their conversation. And after he looks at the note, he says, yeah, I knew it. So there has to be some connection between their conversation about her importance, what she was doing, and why he decided now was the time to look at the note Ava placed in the book. Because he even says himself he's going to look at it as little as possible, and Ava tells him only do it when you know the time is right. Or rather, you'll know when the time is right. So whether big or small, clever or not, I think all of these are pretty viable reasons for her to be picked to be the one to receive the Book of Prophecy. She's strong, she's stoic, she's pure, she's focused. Did I already say strong? I really don't remember. And as far as the sequence of events goes, she was one of the first people to be a dandelion, because Ephemera, Player, and Scold all had to be convinced. We saw them get convinced by Ava at least. Now here is what I think went down. Ava was told to enlist the 5 chosen by the Masters to be future Union leaders in the New World and passing down the Book of Prophecies onto the circled name that he had done. And even though Strelitzia was a well-renowned dandelion or one of the earliest, Ava was skeptical. Ava saw the book was intended for Strelitzia from reading the note given her by the Masters, questioned it, and didn't agree with it, considering being familiar with the others on the list as well as her, or at least one other person who we'll get to. And at this point, it's just another one of the many things where she takes actions into her own hand. At this point, once she questions it, the Masters warned her that things will be dangerous if anything else but the one circled or to get the Book of Prophecies, which is why he makes it clear that only they received the book as per his intentions, and things will get hairy if anyone else sees it or obtains it. And this is where our leaders come in. At this point, considering the way they talk and relax around each other, Ava knew what her plan was. She already had a previously established comfortable relationship with Brain. So during the time when she was to enlist him as a Union leader, she went along with her own plan. Before she passed it along to him, she kind of probed him, questioning his thought process on how the future worked, predetermination, rebuilding of the world, as well as changing fate. She wanted to see where his head was. She already knows Brain is smart by this point, but once he makes the comment, this sounds like it's a script, mentioning how what if things can't be changed. That's when she makes it clear and tells him that he's bright. So at this point, Ava feels comfortable in her idea to pass the Book of Prophecies onto Brain, intentionally going against what the Masters planned, but this wouldn't be the first or the last time. Or rather, it may have been the first, but it wasn't the last time. She realizes she trusts Brain. She tells him that he's going to get the Book of Prophecies, explains why him, tells him of the note that she got from the Masters, puts it inside the book where the future is, and tells him that he will understand the message once he opens it in the future. At this point, proceeds to just sit around, lounge around, have casual conversation with Brain, and relax. Now, Strelitzia was meant to be a Union leader, but was killed right a bit after the bell tolled for the Keyblade War to begin, meaning that since Ava's strike with Lucio was what caused the bell toll, that means Ava had already given the Book of Prophecies away by the time that she had died, limiting the possibility of her having found out about her death and switching people. Ava probably agreed with her being a Union leader, but not to be a successor of the Book of Prophecies, which is why when she enlisted her, she never passed her the book, but instead passed it to Brain. Brain even makes it cleared that it was Ava that was the one that changed who was supposed to receive the Book of Prophecies. Although Brain thought he knew her message, he did not know the whole thing. She wanted to show that time as well as the Book of Prophecies can be fought against and events can be changed, even if they're stated in some way in the Book of Prophecies. But also, like I said before, put trust in his action in her own gambling of fate to fight against predetermination and the will of the Book of Prophecies and the Masters themselves. When discussing the whereabouts with Lorium, he thought that this was the time to look in the Book of Prophecies and to look at the note that he gave her. He even says, yeah, I thought so, or yeah, I was right. One of the two. I'll put it up on screen anyway. But hold on, I'm not done yet. Now, I'm glad if you guys are all on board and like this, but it wouldn't be a good theory or argument without a counter argument. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, if the Masters read ahead in the Book of Prophecies, like he always done, and saw Strelitzia's death, then why would he have intended for Strelitzia to be the one to receive it in the first place? Well, that's what makes this special. That the Master himself also didn't know, because at the point of which Ava gave the book to Brain was when the future changed. During Brain and Ava's whole discussion before she gives the Book of Prophecies to him, they kind of brainstorm over how the Book of Prophecies works and consider the fact that it probably can change and alter on things that are supposed to be quote unquote predetermined when somebody intentionally changed the future and things that are supposed to happen. So my point is that a time to where Strelitzia received the Book of Prophecies like she was supposed to is where she survived. Because like they were brainstorming, the Book of Prophecies probably only changes when an individual takes action to change it, not before or not after, because then the book would always be constantly changing. So there's no way the Masters could have seen the fact that Ava betrayed him and gave the Book of Prophecies to someone that was not who he had chosen, or else he would have either called it out or made it extra clear. The bell tolls for war. She goes into hiding like she's supposed to, waits for the Keyblade War to end, and comes out among the Keyblade graveyard, finding the other 4 leaders. During this time, she protects and watches over the Book of Prophecies from any and everyone as she is supposed to. Even at risk of not inviting Player to be part of the Dandelions, she makes it past the end with the others. She never encounters her killer because she doesn't make any unnecessary movements or take any needless action, because remember, Player was already invited by Ava as well. Strelitzia may not have known this, but Player had already turned down the invitation anyway. But that's not the only possibility. If you don't like that, you can also think of it in an alternate way. The Masters chose to pass it to Strelitzia because he saw her death, and giving her the book and being able to see it for herself will allow her to take action to prevent it from occurring altogether. And in doing this, prevents the book from falling into the wrong hands, in the hands of someone that doesn't really have much else to do besides be to themselves. Someone who doesn't have that much friends. She will be focused on her one and only goal, to guard the book for the future, because they need it. So like I said, there's many different ways you can look at it, whether you tweak one thing here, tweak a big thing here, and another couple small things here and there. There are multiple different reasoning and good explanations and viable reasoning to why she was the one that received the Book of Prophecies, whether the Masters saw it or not, why he chose her, why Ava didn't choose her, and the whole mechanics of the Book of Prophecies, and if the Masters actually really saw that happening or not, and Ava's changing the future with her gamble of fate possibly being what condemns Strelitzia altogether. Her holding on to the book would not only be her saving grace, but it is what they needed to guide the future. Her personality was probably what could have led the Masters to choose her to only make decisions that somebody like her could make, because it's not always about the brain, it's about the heart too. Because remember, this ain't called Kingdom Brains out here, that's called Kingdom Hearts. And with that being said, that pretty much sums it up. Let me know what you guys think. I really want to hear discussion from you guys, whether you think I'm absolutely crazy or whether you think, hey, I might be onto something. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you guys expect to see from the next Unicross update. If you guys think I'm right, if you guys think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. I love discussion, love talking with you guys, and I cannot express enough how much I enjoy the support you guys are giving me, and just being able to talk to you guys and give you something you can enjoy and an outlet to talk as well. And if you did like the video, want to see more Unicross theories and many other types of videos in general, then make sure you hit the like button, because it really truly helps me out a ton. And thank you to all the new and returning subscribers on the channel. Thank you very much, because it really helps out a ton. And if you have not subscribed already, then what you doing? You know you like this video, hit that button. Yeah, go ahead and do it. But on a serious note, I really appreciate every single one of you, whether you just view the video, whether you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Any and all support is greatly encouraged and appreciated. Keep them comments positive. Keep them comments well thought out. I love seeing them paragraphs. Love seeing them paragraphs. Big comments, little comments, long as you're respectful, I'm fine with it. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll see you there.